The story of Charles VI stands as a painful warning about the burden of power, especially when placed on a fragile mind. In an age when mental illness was seen as a curse or divine punishment, no one knew how to help Charles, only how to use him. History remembers him as Charles the Mad, but few still recall that before the light in his mind was extinguished, he was once Charles the Beloved, a young king with bright eyes, a love of peace, and the dream of building a flourishing France. In his tragedy, we see clearly that the fragility of the human mind is something that should never be taken lightly, even if that mind wears a crown. When speaking of the worst kings in medieval history, the name of Henry VI of England often appears, not because of cruelty or a thirst for power, but because he was too gentle. In a world full of schemes, bloodshed, and fierce battles for the throne, Henry's kindness, piety, and moral integrity did not make him a great king. On the contrary, his softness helped plunge England into one of the bloodiest civil wars in its history, the Wars of the Roses. Henry VI was born in 1421, the only son of King Henry V, a legendary warrior king of England. At just 9 months old, Henry VI ascended the throne after his father's sudden death, becoming the youngest monarch in English history. During his early years, the kingdom was governed by regents. While young Henry was raised in an environment steeped in reverence and religious devotion, influences that shaped his character profoundly. Unlike his father, the fearsome conqueror of Agincourt, Henry VI grew up with gentle soul, shy and deeply trusting in God. He had no interest in war, hunting, or the game of power. Instead, he spent his time praying, reading the Bible, and founding educational institutions. Eton College and King's College, Cambridge, two of the most prestigious schools in England today, were his educational legacies. A king with virtue and compassion should have been a blessing, but in the political climate of England at the time, those very qualities became a disaster. Throughout his reign, Henry VI persistently sought peace with France, a position that angered many nobles and military leaders. His appeasement was seen as weakness. Especially controversial was his marriage to Margaret of Anjou, a French princess, which brought no dowry or territorial gains, but instead cost England strategically important lands previously conquered by his father. This led to public outrage and deepening division within the court. More dangerously, Henry lacked the skill to manage internal factions within the royal family. While he was immersed in prayer and charity, powerful nobles like the houses of York and Lancaster quietly amassed influence. Disputes over royal succession, political control, and economic power gradually ignited the flames of civil war.